6:46 Central African Time. Now, Africa's agri-food sector is in focus as Nairobi hosts the FINAS 2026 summit from the 30th of June to the 2nd of July, bringing together over 1,000 stakeholders from government, finance and business. The summit aims to close a financing gap of more than $100 billion and improve investment into Africa's food systems, which employ over 60% of the workforce. Discussions will focus on climate-smart agriculture, blended finance and new investment models to support farmers and agribusinesses across the continent. Joining us this evening to dissect this summit further is Professor Hamadi Boga, Chair of FINAS and Vice President in charge of Program Delivery at AGRA. A very good evening to you. Welcome to Africa in Business.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to join you this evening to talk about FINAS and African agriculture.
Thank you, Prof. Perhaps a good place to start this evening would be an understanding of what your main objectives are of the FINAS 2026 summit and why it's important for Africa's food systems.
Yeah, since 2003, Africa has developed its comprehensive African agricultural development program, which is now entering the third decade. Part of the hello?
Yes, Prof.
Hello?
Please. Yes, Prof. We hear you.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Part of the commitment was for every country to set aside 10% of its public expenditure to support the agriculture sector, and also for the private sector also to crowd in resources to support the development of the agriculture sector. But most countries have not been able to reach those goals. And 3 decades down the line, Africa is still not able to feed itself. African farmers are still not able to find support for their enterprises. African agribusinesses are also struggling. Most countries are lending only less than 5% from the banks into the agribusiness sector. And partly this is because of risks. People are concerned that agriculture has become too risky. Farmers are not bankable, especially because we are dealing with smallholder farmers working in an environment where climate change is a big problem. And so it has injected a lot of risk and unpredictability as far as production is concerned. So you find that private capital as well as public capital is not flowing into the agriculture sector, despite the agriculture sector contributing a lot to the GDP and to export earnings for most African countries.
So on that very note, Professor, we've acknowledged the importance of agriculture to the economy. We've acknowledged the financing gap which exists despite the importance of this particular sector. So how can governments as well as financial institutions ensure that more funding actually does reach smallholder farmers and agri-SMEs? What are the interventions that need to be put in place in order to mitigate this?
Yeah, I think political will is very critical in this case, right from the presidency down to the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Agriculture. They should just prioritize financing agriculture, and if the public sector finances up to 10% of the public expenditure, we know that can grow the agriculture GDP by 6%. That is a proven model. Ethiopia has done it. Rwanda has done it. Other countries should also do it. And when the public sector invests enough resources into the agriculture sector, it sends a signal to investors that the agriculture sector is prioritized by government, and they also bring in their resources. And most importantly, to attract private capital, government has to make it easy for investors to come into the country, to bring in their capital, to work in an environment of policy predictability so that they can protect their savings. while at the same time working with financial institutions to de-risk the smallholder farmers and the SMEs that are working in the agriculture sector
Professor,
by,
I'm
by by putting in place de-risking facilities, working with the bank, with the government acting as a guarantor.
Yeah, I mean, all of those, infrastructures really need to be in place, as you are highlighting there, Professor. Well, we wish you all of the best for the FINAS 2026 summit, which starts tomorrow in Nairobi and will continue all the way up until the 2nd of July. There, the contents agri-food sector very much in focus. Professor Hamadi Boga, Chair of FINAS and Vice President in charge of Program Delivery at AGRA. We thank you very much for your time, Prof.